Hello, my little love. Did you have a good day today? I hope something made you smile. Now take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and let your mind get soft and quiet. It's time for a gentle bedtime story. Once upon a time, in a cozy burrow beneath the roots of a grand old fir tree, there lived a family of rabbits. There was Mother Rabbit, who had the softest brown fur and the kindest eyes you ever saw. And she had 4 little children. Their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. Every morning, the sunlight would filter down through the earth and gently wake the little rabbits in their warm burrow. They would stretch their paws and wiggle their pink noses and hop out of their soft beds made of dried moss and dandelion fluff. Mother Rabbit would prepare breakfast for her children. She would set out fresh lettuce leaves, crisp and green, and wild blackberries that tasted like summer sunshine. Sometimes there would be sweet clover flowers and tender young carrots she had gathered from the meadow. One particular morning, when the dew was still sparkling on the grass like tiny diamonds, Mother Rabbit put on her blue cloak and picked up her basket. She was getting ready to go to the bakery to buy some fresh bread and maybe a seed cake for tea. Before she left, she gathered her 4 little bunnies around her. "Now, my dears," she said in her gentle voice, "you may go into the fields or down the lane, but please, my loves, do not go into Mr. McGregor's garden." She paused and looked at each of them with her warm brown eyes. "Your father once went into that garden," she said softly, "and he had a difficult time there. So please stay safe and play in the meadow instead." Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail were very good little rabbits. They nodded their heads and promised to stay safe. They planned to go down the lane to gather blackberries, which sounded like a lovely way to spend a sunny morning. But Peter, the youngest and most curious of the 4, had other ideas. He had heard so many stories about Mr. McGregor's garden. He had heard there were cabbages as big as cushions and radishes as red as rubies. His little rabbit heart was filled with wonder and curiosity. So while his sisters hopped down the lane with their little baskets, Peter squeezed under the garden gate. It was a tight fit, but he wiggled and squirmed until pop, he was through. The garden was more beautiful than Peter had imagined. Rows and rows of vegetables grew in neat lines. There were lettuce plants with leaves like green ruffles. There were French beans climbing up tall sticks, their leaves rustling softly in the breeze. There were radishes with their feathery tops swaying gently, and cucumbers lying cool and long in the shade of their big leaves. Peter's eyes grew wide with wonder. He hopped over to the lettuce first and nibbled a leaf. It was crisp and fresh and tasted like morning. Then he hopped to the French beans and ate several of those. Then he found some radishes and crunched on those too, even though they made his nose tickle. But then, and this was not a good idea, Peter ate so many vegetables that his tummy began to feel rather uncomfortable. It was full and round and a little bit achy. He remembered that his mother always said that when your tummy hurts, parsley is good for it. So Peter went looking for the parsley bed. He hopped around a cucumber frame, turned past the tomato plants with their sunny yellow flowers, and that's when he saw Mr. McGregor. Mr. McGregor was kneeling in the garden, planting out young cabbages. He was a man with a gray beard and a straw hat, and he was humming a little tune to himself as he worked. He wasn't mean or scary, but he worked very hard in his garden and wanted to protect the vegetables he had grown with such care. When Mr. McGregor looked up and saw Peter, his eyes grew round with surprise. "Stop right there, young rabbit," he called out. Peter's heart began to beat very fast, thump thump thump, like a little drum. He turned around and ran as fast as his legs could carry him, looking for the gate where he had come in. But in his hurry and with his tummy so full and uncomfortable, he couldn't quite remember which way was which. He ran and ran, his little paws pattering on the garden path. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other shoe among the potatoes. Running on bare paws, he ran even faster, his blue jacket flapping behind him. Peter ran past the gooseberry bushes and squeezed under the black currant nets. He hopped over the flower beds where red geraniums and yellow marigolds nodded in the breeze. And all the while, his heart was beating fast and his breath was coming in quick little puffs. He came to a pond with a white cat sitting beside it, very still, watching the goldfish swim lazily in the water. Peter thought about asking her which way to the gate, but the cat just stared at him with her green eyes, so he decided not to disturb her and ran on. Then Peter found himself near the tool shed. He thought perhaps he could hide inside, just for a moment, to catch his breath. He slipped inside through a crack in the door. It was dim and cool inside, and it smelled of earth and wood and dried grass. There were flower pots stacked in towers, and garden tools hanging on the walls, and a watering can sitting peacefully in the corner. Peter climbed into the watering can to hide. He was very quiet, his little pink nose twitching as he tried to calm his breathing. He could hear Mr. McGregor outside, looking for him among the vegetables. But then Peter felt a tickle in his nose. The watering can smelled of water and metal and old leaves, and before he could stop it, he sneezed. Achoo! It was not a very loud sneeze, but it was enough. "Aha!" said Mr. McGregor, though not in an angry way, more in a "there you are" sort of way. He came toward the tool shed. Peter jumped out of the watering can and rushed out of the shed, upsetting 3 flower pots as he went. They rolled and clattered, and Mr. McGregor called after him, "Please be careful of my pots, little rabbit." Peter ran and ran. He saw the gate at last. There it was, with the sunlight beyond it and the safe meadow waiting. But oh dear, his blue jacket got caught on the gate. The buttons were stuck, and Peter had to wriggle and twist and struggle. He pulled and pulled, and finally, with a little ripping sound, he got free, leaving his beautiful blue jacket behind, hanging on the gate like a flag. Peter didn't stop. He ran through the gate and across the meadow, past the daisies and buttercups, past the clover and the dandelions. He ran all the way home, his little chest heaving, his paws muddy, and his tummy still feeling quite uncomfortable. When he got home to the burrow beneath the fir tree, Mother Rabbit was back from the bakery. She was setting out tea for Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who had returned with their baskets full of lovely blackberries. But when she saw Peter, she knew immediately that something had happened. He had no jacket. He had no shoes. He was muddy and tired and his whiskers were drooping. Mother Rabbit didn't scold him. Instead, she sighed gently and said, "Oh, Peter, my dear. You went to Mr. McGregor's garden, didn't you?" Peter nodded, his ears drooping. "I'm sorry, Mama," he said in a very small voice. Mother Rabbit hugged him close. "You must be exhausted, my little love. And your tummy hurts, doesn't it?" She felt his round, uncomfortable tummy and knew exactly what had happened. She tucked Peter into bed in the cozy burrow. She brought him a cup of warm chamomile tea, which she had made from the flowers that grew beside the garden fence. The tea smelled like sunshine in summer and soft sleepy afternoons. "Drink this slowly, my dear," she said softly. "It will help your tummy feel better." Peter sipped the tea. It was warm and gentle and tasted like comfort. His mother pulled a soft blanket up to his chin and smoothed his ears. "Rest now, Peter," she whispered. "Adventures are wonderful things, but home is where you're safe and loved." Meanwhile, Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had a lovely supper. They ate fresh bread with butter and honey. They ate the blackberries they had gathered, which were sweet and juicy. And Mother Rabbit gave them each a little piece of seed cake for being such good, careful bunnies. But Peter had only his chamomile tea, and then he drifted off to sleep in his cozy bed of moss and fluff. As he slept, he dreamed. He dreamed of the meadow beyond the burrow, where daisies grew tall and white. He dreamed of butterflies with wings like stained glass windows, fluttering from flower to flower. He dreamed of the old fir tree above their home, its branches swaying gently in the evening breeze. And he dreamed of his mother's soft fur and gentle voice, always there to keep him safe. Outside the burrow, the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of rose and gold and soft lavender. The birds sang their evening songs, gentle and slow. The wind whispered through the grass. And all the little creatures of the meadow settled down for the night. Peter slept deeply and peacefully. His tummy was feeling better now, soothed by the chamomile tea. And in his sleep, he understood something important. He understood that while curiosity and adventure are wonderful things, there's nothing quite as precious as being safe at home with those who love you. And when tomorrow came, and the morning sun filtered down through the earth once more, Peter would wake up in his cozy burrow. His mother would smile at him. His sisters would play with him. And he would remember to listen to his mother's gentle wisdom, because she always knew what was best. But for now, all was quiet and peaceful. The stars came out one by one, twinkling like tiny candles in the deep blue sky. The moon rose, round and silver, casting its soft light over the meadow and the garden and the burrow beneath the fir tree. And little Peter Rabbit slept on, dreaming sweet dreams, safe and warm and loved. You did well today, my little love. Now let your eyes grow heavy, and let the night wrap around you like a soft blanket. Sleep well, sweet dreams, and rest deeply.